Okay, so today we're going to talk about something that I think every single leader, every founder, every manager has felt at some point. It's this really fascinating mental trap called the brain lying phenomenon. And we're going to break down how to spot it, and more importantly, how to get back in the driver's seat. So let me ask you this. Have you ever had one of those days? You know the one. You're exhausted, you're just not feeling it, and all of a sudden that feeling just spirals. It turns into this deep-seated certainty that your whole business, everything you've built, is about to crash and burn. If you're nodding along right now, trust me, you are not alone.
So what is actually going on in those moments? Well, there's a name for this feeling, and just understanding it is the first crucial step to getting a handle on it. The folks who studied this call it the brain lying phenomenon.
Here's the official breakdown. It's a kind of psychological bottleneck, right? A choke point in your thinking where your brain takes these temporary feelings, like being stressed out or just plain tired, and reports them to you as if they are cold, hard, objective business facts. Basically, your emotions are putting on a suit and tie and pretending to be logic. And this is the absolute key to all of this. Your feelings are totally real, but they are not your key performance indicators. Your emotions, they are not your business intelligence. One is just a temporary internal state, and the other is, or should be, external measurable reality. And the brain lying phenomenon, well, it just dangerously blurs that line. And look, this isn't just you being in a harmless bad mood. Oh no. When you start actually believing these lies your brain is telling you, there's some very real and very high costs. So let's get into the consequences. First up, we have this thing where we misinterpret our own exhaustion. A really heavy day, or maybe a creative block, doesn't just feel like a normal part of the process anymore. Instead, your brain serves it up as stone-cold proof, objective evidence even, that your entire business model is broken and you're basically doomed. So that anxiety, it leads you right into the second consequence, which has this brilliant name, dashboard doom scrolling. To try and calm that panic, you start compulsively checking your metrics, right? Sales data, web analytics, anything that might give you some external validation. But here's the thing, short-term data is always volatile, so this little habit, it usually just makes the anxiety a whole lot worse. And all of this leads to the biggest danger of all. You lose your strategic agency. Your focus shifts away from the things you can actually control, your long-term vision, your team, your product, to things you can't, like the random minute-by-minute blips in the data. You stop being proactive, and you become completely reactive. Now, what's so wild about this whole thing is how this cycle reinforces a really toxic idea. Let's call it the inspiration myth. It's this totally false belief that to be a successful leader, you have to feel constantly, unendingly inspired and motivated. So when you inevitably have an off day, your lying brain uses that as proof of failure, when in reality, we all know success is built on discipline and systems, not on some kind of constant euphoric high. Okay, so we've laid out the problem, and it sounds kind of bleak, but the good news is we can absolutely fight back. The solution, though, it requires a pretty fundamental shift in how we think. The whole game is to switch from what we call metric auditing to decision auditing. Look at this. Metric auditing is reactive, right? It's all about obsessing over external data to get validation. But decision auditing, that's proactive. It flips the script and shifts your focus inward to the quality of your choices, no matter what the immediate outcome was. Now, this isn't just some abstract mindset shift. No, there is a practical, concrete tool you can use to put this into practice, and it's called the 60-day decision audit. So, why 60 days? What's the magic in that number? Well, it's just long enough to smooth out all the noise and the random ups and downs of daily life, but it's also short enough to be a manageable exercise you'll actually do. It forces you to look at a pattern of your choices, not just one emotional data point from a really bad Tuesday afternoon. So how does this actually work? It's a pretty simple 3-step process. First, just acknowledge the feeling. You literally say to yourself, okay, right now, my brain is reporting my feelings as if they are facts. Step 2, you intentionally shift your focus. You close the analytics dashboard, and instead, you start reviewing your recent decisions. And finally, step 3, you evaluate the quality of those choices. You have to ask yourself, based on what I knew at that moment, was that a good call? And you have to remember, the outcome is totally irrelevant for this exercise. The focus is on the decision-making process. To really make this whole idea stick, let's use a fantastic analogy. I want you to think of your brain as an overheating sensor in a car.
So just imagine you're driving this amazing high-tech car. The brain lying phenomenon is like a faulty sensor that suddenly starts flashing a giant red warning, total engine failure. But here's the thing, the engine is perfectly fine. The problem is that this sensor itself, your emotional state, is just overheating.
Now, if you panic and start frantically checking the speedometer every 2 seconds, you're not helping, are you? You're just distracting yourself, and you might even cause a real crash. That panic, that frantic checking, that's dashboard doom scrolling. You're just focusing on the wrong gauge.
The right response, the strategic response, is to acknowledge that the sensor is probably faulty, but to trust your driving skill. You know, your experience and all the good decisions that have gotten you this far. Trusting your ability to drive the car. That is decision auditing. You focus on what you can actually control, steering. So that really brings us to the final and most important takeaway here. The next time you feel that wave of dread, that panic, just ask yourself this one simple question. Is what my brain is telling me right now a fact, or is it just a faulty overheating sensor? Because knowing the difference, that is how you stay in control of the wheel.